journey around a vast and wild continent. 167 cars taking off on a rally which would last 2 weeks and cover 20,000 kilometres.
A historic journey undertaken by more than 50 pre-1983 cars, some of which were original entries in the 1979 event, taking off on an epic 4-week, 14,000 kilometre around Australia rally.
Through lush rainforest and drought-stricken bushland. An endurance test of man and machine, with the challenge of conquering the most unforgiving continent in the world.
Still looking pristine, and with the majority of entries still running at the end of the first week, the upcoming terrain and distances of Australia's north are sure to put these ageing vehicles under a lot more pressure. Welcome to the 2019 Repco Reliability Retrial. We caught up with the entrants today at Perth's Barbagallo Raceway, where they're conducting hot laps of the circuit here. Back in 1979, when the Repco Reliability Trial was last run, it was Australia's most gruelling, toughest, longest, and of course the last of the Around Australia Motoring Trials. Back then, the competitors completed the circuit around Australia over a 2-week period. However, today, we've expanded that to be a 4-week course. However, the cars aren't getting any younger.
It was built for long distance, not for sprinting. And while it's a quick car, there are quicker cars and were quicker cars in the event. But the three works Commodores just kept going and going and going.
Little issues. On the first day we had a special trial section where we were going through just some muddy, grassy. They said it was a road, it was a gazetted road, but it was just a track through a field. And hit a little bit of a bump, but we got that going again.
We've had a small issue with our second battery because we have a fridge in the back that has got our food and drink in it, but we've had some charging issues with that.
Oh, him farting while singing Matilda at night in bed's pretty good. He just
goes all night.
It's just we're only here for the crack, you know. It's this is just a game really, and meet a few blokes, and these sort of events you get every other character in town in there, and it's about who can take the piss out of each other the best, who can tell the most bullshit, I suppose, and like this bugger here. So it's just about getting out there, and our last rally was the P2P, so I call this one the P2P, we're turning petrol into pleasure. So we're doing about anywhere between 3.5k to the litre to sometimes, if we take the 5 accelerator, we get 5. The best economy's at night when we're sleeping.
We're constantly at the end or the back of the pack, so we're getting in late. We're missing the festivities, but it's great. People get a bit nervous and twitchy when we're behind them because we're hanging around like a vulture, just waiting for them to break down.
In 1979, a trip around Australia was fairly different compared to what it is in 2019. These days it often involves caravans and four-wheel drive vehicles, but when the original 1979 Repco Reliability Trial ran, there was two-wheel drive vehicles, both from private entries and dealer teams alike. Here we have some of the original 1979 VB Holden Commodores that were entered by the General Motors Holden team, along with their extensive support network. And you know what? It still looks amazing and it still runs strong.
This car got second outright and then was sort of missing for many years, but when we eventually found it, we restored it, and I wanted to keep it as it originally was. So at all points of the compass in Sydney, as we were restoring it, we had the engine one spot, the gearbox somewhere else, the diff somewhere else. Everything was spread around to the 4 points to people that I knew were specialists in those components. The only additions we've made, we do a nice bright light under the bonnet in the cabin and in the boot.
The number 8 car was driven by two German fellows, Jürgen Barth and Roland Kuschmal. So I started to research it and get photos of it and try to work out what stickers they had on there, and that's where we are now.
The car's a 75 Chrysler made in 1929. We've raced Peking to Paris on it 3 times. First time we blew up, it didn't do too good. Come back and got a new motor put into it. Next time we went back with my son and we come second overall and won our class and won the team's event, and took it home and rebuilt it again. But in the meantime, Andrew, he decided to copy this car in England, and we thought we'd do the Peking to Paris in 2016 again, but he copied Mark II, and then I brought it home and made Mark III.
Yeah, so it's a HJ with a 308, 5-speed manual, 308 diff. Pretty much stock standard, other than aftermarket air conditioning and a few creature comforts, dual fuel, and yeah.
Again in 2019, things are slightly different to what they were in 1979. Nowadays we have a plethora of motor parts stores, mechanical workshops and support en route for an event such as this retrial. But in 1979, things were a little bit more different. To that end, the Holden dealer team, as well as some other teams, provided their own en route support vehicles with a full range of mechanical services, parts and equipment to keep their vehicles going. Here we have this absolutely wonderful tribute to the original Holden dealer panel vans that went on the trip, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, it's been a 5-year build, and a very, it's consumed most of my life the last 12 months too, but yeah, well worth it for the event, and excited to be here. Fantastic. You know, we had Mount Gambier and Kalgoorlie both put on breakfast for us, you know, coffee vans there, and they've literally, it's funny, you see all us walking around the store as if we own it. We're down the back, we're walking through the stock corridors and we're looking for things. They've been absolutely fantastic. The support, second to none. Yeah, really impressive.
Caltex, BP, they've been there every so many miles to keep filling us up. That's been quite good. No, we've seen that the support vehicles that they put in behind this rally has been absolutely awesome, really good. And Repco have been there all the time. We've pulled in there. They've been very hospitable to us, and there's been the barbecues, and the locals have really got in behind what we're doing here, and it's been an absolute, it's been a good fun. And
definitely, yeah. The event has been awesome actually. Like it's you know, great bunch of people. Pretty challenging, both mentally and physically, but yeah, definitely enjoying every minute of it, and would definitely consider doing something like this again. Yeah, for sure.
At Perth's Barbagallo Raceway, where the reliability retrial vehicles will be performing a number of hot laps around the race circuit. This has been done to give the competitors a real sense of the speed and the pace that was involved in the original 1979 reliability trial, for which today we can't really run these speeds or drive in these manners on public roads. From the rumbling of the engines through to the well-presented classic vehicles on display, and of course the people. These are all the things that make motoring sports events in Australia. This has been the 2019 Repco Reliability Retrial. We hope to see you in 2029 for the 50th anniversary rerun. Yes, sir!
One thing, every time we overtake somebody on the gravel, he loses go of the steering wheel and he does this.
Rest assured we have had a good time and we will continue to have a good time all the way through to Melbourne.
Thanks guys. You're right, boy.
Out of here. Yay.